Mrs. Girot. I am going to be your 3D modeling teacher. I'm so looking forward to this block. Let's see here. So yes, this is Suzanne. Suzanne the monkey. You'll see her in Blender, and you will get an opportunity to make Suzanne your own. Let's see here. So our objectives for this orientation today are to, one, send me a text message, two, read the rules, three, download Blender and the resources, and four, take the orientation quiz. Blender is a 3D modeling program. One of the things I want to make sure you know how to do is select Suzanne. If Suzanne is not selected, the program will not know that you actually are trying to do anything to her. So you must right-click on Suzanne as soon as you've opened her up. Right-click on her and make sure that she is selected before you start practicing the exercises in Project 1. And if ever things just aren't working quite right, ask yourself, do I have Suzanne selected? Right-click on her. Maybe that's what's missing. You're also going to need to get into the habit of saving a lot in order to free up your RAM space. So what I do is, after clicking File Save As, I like to create new folders. So I've got a nice practice work folder, so I can kind of fool around when I first get in there, and I can mess everything up and save in there. I also have some folders labeled for each of the projects where I can save my work and find it easily. I like you to save your work with a new name each time you go in to add to make changes to one of your Blender files. You can easily just put that day's date in there, and then double click on whichever folder you want it to go into. So for example, in my practice work folder, I already have several files that I've played around with. This is just me noodling around, saving it with a different name each time. The easiest way is probably just to change the date each time. And if you were doing it more than once on the same date, you could put the date and the time, for example. In this class, we are going to do our best to make it through all of the projects. This is my first time teaching 3D art here using this K-12 curriculum. So my past experience has been that there's too much content to cover in an 8-week period. So we're going to find out as we go through it. I definitely want you to do the quizzes, and the assignments, I'm not sure. Let's find out what the pace is before we commit to assignments. If you have any ideas for assignments that you'd like to do, you can let me know. I'd love to get your ideas. I can physically only grade 3 or 4 Dropbox assignments per block, so might have to just look through those assignments and see what our favorite ones are, and we might create our own assignments. For attendance, we meet once per week, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. If you have 2 classes, I would appreciate it if you would only attend one of those classes. And please give 100% of your attention to that one class that you attend, and participate 100% of the time. For the other class, just watch the recording. Don't log into 2 classes at one time. It's just disrespectful to your teacher and your classmates to not be giving your full attention to a class. We do only meet 1 class per week. That's 1 hour, and I know it's not enough, and so that's why it's crucial you watch with your full undivided attention the videos in the project lessons. They are your learning tools, and it's actually pretty awesome that you have them, because you can pause them, you can rewind them, you can watch them over and over again until you get the concept. If you need help, if it's like, I need help right now in order to be able to move forward with this project, probably sending an email is not the fastest way to get a hold of me. You know that teachers actually have 24 hours to get back to you. So if you send me an email, what I'm really seeing is that you're buying yourself a 24-hour ticket to not have to do any work. Okay, so that's a little bit it can be perceived as being irresponsible to send an email when you have a question that needs to be answered right away. So it is best to just call me or send me a text message. So in fact, what I want you to do is put my phone number right now into your contacts, 801-637-9682, and it's Girot, the T is silent. Send me that text. It needs to have your first and last name, your learning coach's first name, and the name of this class, 3D Art. If you send me that text message, that lets me know that you watched this orientation video. If you don't send me the text, then that might mean that your family does not have a cell phone. And if that's the case, you can email me instead to let me know the best way to get a hold of you. And if you didn't send me a text message and that was not the case, then I can assume you did not complete the orientation and you're not serious about this class. And if that's the case, I may need to switch you to a different elective, because this class is going to require your effort and desire to succeed. I need 100% of my students to pass this class. The only reason why you wouldn't pass this class is if you just were not going to give it effort, and this is not that class. This isn't the class that you cannot give effort to. So if you already know right now, I am not interested in this class, this is not in my interest level, I have no motivation, no desire to do 3D art. If that is you, you need to let me know right away so we can get you into an elective class that is you, that you can pass. Email protocols. I teach 3 classes, so I need you to include in the title of your email initial last name, 3D art, and what it is pertaining to. For example, question about project 1. And then in your email, I need you to be very, very specific. Act as if I have no idea what you're talking about. I've never even heard of 3D art before. I don't know what's in Project 1 folders. So be specific. Use specific terminology, specific unit numbers, things like that, so that I can actually help you. But ultimately, you should just be calling me, because usually if you are asking me a question, it's something you need to know right now, not 24 hours from now, right? You're going to download Blender and the resources. There is a video below this. I think it says something like video how to download Blender and the resources. So just watch that video. And if for some reason it's not opening after you've installed it, if you don't have the little icon on your desktop, it's probably not installed. Maybe you downloaded the installer but you forgot to open the installer and actually run it. So you do need to double click on that downloaded installer folder, and you need to click next, 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 and then finish before that Blender icon will actually show up on your desktop. If it just doesn't work, just uninstall it and reinstall it from scratch. 100% of times it's worked. Also, there's tech support, 866-K12-CARE. Put that in your phone. And the resources are in the link, the video below as well. So, if you have any Flash Player issues, so what do I mean by that? There are actually Flash objects that should be spinning and rotating and kind of doing their thing. And if the flash isn't working, there's not going to be anything there. So what you do is you go up to the little lock. So I'm at the school website. This is a site that I trust. So I'm going to do that here. Under Flash, just click Allow. Okay? And then exit out. And then you can, it'll say to apply your updated settings, reload the page, and reload, and then your Flash will pleasantly work for you. Let's see here. Yes, just that little tidbit about right-clicking on Suzanne. So as I was saying, you've got to right-click on Suzanne. When you do that, she'll be like surrounded in a little yellow line. And then when you come down here, for example, to object mode, then you'll also have an edit mode, and you can hit your tab button and toggle back and forth between the two. If you go to click on object mode and there aren't any other objects, that's because you didn't right click on Suzanne. Here are the rules. Number 1, plan ahead. Give yourself plenty of time to do the work. Work for 1 hour a day on this class. 2, read and follow directions. 3, watch the videos, tutorials, and follow them. Don't just do your own thing. 4, turn your work in on time. 5, don't cheat. Don't plagiarize. Don't waste my time submitting stuff to the Dropbox that doesn't belong there. 6, by the end of this week, request to be in a different class if you discover that Blender isn't working for you or you just don't want to take this class. If we need to make changes, it has to be this week, please. Complete the orientation quiz only after you've watched this video, installed Blender, downloaded the resources, and completed a couple of lessons in Project 1. You definitely want to make sure that Blender is working for you, okay? And if you have any questions, just text me. And that's all I've got for you for this orientation. Thank you so much for your time. Looking forward to working with you.